The War on Normal Guys by Shoeonhead. Let's watch it together. First, I'm gonna refresh because guarantee there's an ad.
We must break the will of our enemy.
Wendigoon is a horror conspiracy theorist YouTuber with several million subscribers, has a dark past with deep ties to far-right extremism. Wendigoon is very publicly friends with Turkey Tom. He is friends with Mutahar. He is publicly friends with Shoeonhead, who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist.
A few days ago, I saw this video pop.
What a strong way to start. Out of those names, no, a little bit of Wendigoon. I don't watch his content himself. I've seen like the cryptid stuff, which I love that lore stuff, love that shit. But I'm more familiar with his collaborative podcast with Papa Meat. I like that stuff. Those are very nice stories. Just guys reading stories. It's very nice. Who else? There was Shoeonhead, familiar. I like Shoeonhead. And Turkey Tom. What's wrong with my boy Turkey Tom? I'm just judging, okay, off their content themselves, just the content itself. If we're judging what he's talking about, which he's talking about a lot of American political crap, which we're not going to get into that, but we can talk about the stuff occurring on the fringe of that dichotomy, the contrast between the left and right, because yeah, clearly everything in life can be broken down to just left and right. It's that easy. Wendigoon, my limited experience of him, there's none of that on his channel. Maybe if you look deeper into the stuff that he says or follow him a little bit closer, you probably get stuff like that, but that's not what I got, and I would be considered your average viewer, not even, less than average viewer of Wendigoon. I don't really watch his stuff, but the stuff that he's a part of, I don't get any of that. Turkey Tom, he makes documentaries on people. I'm not picking up any of that stuff from what you're talking about. He was saying friends, like as if simply associating with people is the sole determining factor in their allegiance, quote unquote. Which, try not to pile everything into a team or a tribe. It's gonna make life harder for you. But that single-handedly, that's not strong enough of an argument. You should wait until the person themselves share their own opinion so that you can judge the merit of the opinion itself instead of interpreting based on the people that they hang out with. It's a good life lesson. Wait for somebody to say something and then judge the merit of what they're saying, the integrity of what they're saying, instead of presuming a bunch of stuff based on their associations. Actions are a different thing, but like, and you could claim that like, you know, your association with somebody else is the action, but like that by itself, no. Sorry. We're not talking about Jeffrey Epstein here, are we?
Now this is cool! Picked up in a billionaire's private jet to check out his brand new hotel before anybody else.
Which even still, just because those people knew him, or I'm not defending those people. They have a list of people who went to the island. That's a separate story. But just the people who knew him or interact with him, that doesn't make you culpable. Just simply from the interaction. Now, as to whether or not you benefit from that, but yada yada, all these different things, various things that play into these types of things. But if we're talking about the guy's opinion by itself, judge his opinion when he says it, if he ever says it. If not, then it's like, I don't know what it is that you believe in, so I can't say. All right. Quick tangent, let's go. Already 4 minutes in, good shit.
Days ago, I saw this video pop up in my YouTube feed. Bad conservative horror movies. And I was immediately intrigued. I love long video essays about stupid shit like this. But what I got instead was the worst attempt at a hit piece I have ever seen on YouTube ever. So sit down and get comfy, because it's time for an old-fashioned video response.
Or stand up and try to remain comfortable because you have hemorrhoids up your bungus. Which is why I'm doing this. To move my recycling, which I've yet to recycle. Hemorrhoids up the ass. Keep bringing it up because it's always on my mind, ow.
Now before we get into this video, I just want to thank today's sponsor, you. This video is sponsored by all of you who donate to me on patreon.com. Thank you all very much. I made you some cookies. These are just for the people who support me on Patreon. Only they get a cookie. Not you. I see you, freeloader. Anyway, I've been pretty busy lately doing personal...
I was gonna grab a cookie, a virtual cookie, have a nom, but no, they're not freeloaders. The people who watch your videos are paying with their attention and their time. You're not giving them free content just because you upload to YouTube, which is a free platform. It's still like investment in some way or the other, which time is more valuable than money, so yeah. It was a joke, I know, I'm just pointing out how it works. But let's go.
Doing personal life things, but when this went down, I was like, I can't not respond to this. But by the time I was done with the script, the man had already deleted the video after it was downvoted to hell. But even though the video is gone, I still want to respond to it for 3 reasons. 1, I am directly involved in this. 2, I'm tired of these type of people running their mouths. And 3, this topic is pretty timeless. And that topic is what I like to call the war on normal guys. Last year I wrote a script for a video with this title, and it was about the YouTuber Wendigoon being cancelled on Twitter. For those of you who don't know, Wendigoon is a popular YouTuber who makes video about true crime, horror, and cryptids. And no, despite popular belief, Wendigoon has nothing to do with gooning. Wendigoon is—
Damn it. Misleading much? I came here to goon, not to hear about your cryptids.
Wendigoon is what most YouTubers who don't make political videos should be. His channel is completely apolitical. I don't like clicking a video about iCarly and then having to listen to you about how much you hate Trump, or clicking a video about Fallout and hearing you go off about how Joe Biden sucks. I don't care. If I wanted to hear milquetoast political opinions, I would watch my own videos. But no, despite being non-political, Wendigoon is a great channel. He has a good community, he's very positive, he's a Sunday school teacher, he has a beautiful wife, he's friendly, funny, and kind. Which of course makes him an—
How is having a wife and being a Sunday school teacher have any relevance? Isn't that kind of playing into what that guy was saying? Unrelated stuff to his channel? The stuff that, yeah. Who cares if you're a Sunday school teacher? That doesn't mean anything.
Of course, it makes him an enemy to the most annoying people on Earth. Month after month after month, I would see threads on Twitter and on Reddit about how what a terrible person Wendigoon was. But when I would go searching for reasons why, there was really nothing besides vibes. I simply do not like Wendigoon. He has bad vibes coming off him like stinky lines. The vibes on this guy have never been right. I live in the Bible Belt. He has the vibes of the kids who would have been comfortable saying racist and homophobic slurs and bullied me in grade school. He always gave me weird vibes. Deeply uncomfortable vibes from this guy. I initially unfollowed him because I started getting weird vibes from him. There are evil energies surrounding this man. Wait, what'd he do? He used to be a youth pastor. Some people got weird vibes, and that's fair. It's rare to see a youth pastor with good vibes. What did Wendigoon do? Honestly, a lot of it is just the vibes. I needed more. I needed to hear some real reasons why people disliked this guy. I needed real arguments. I needed a living soy jack meme.
And by vibes, they mean they're just making shit up based on their interpretation of how it comes off to them. Dude, I have people call me in my videos a serial killer. You look like a serial killer. Serious serial killer vibes. It's like, that doesn't mean shit. That's essentially you saying that you don't have a valid opinion on stuff. And that you have to make up things and then judge the things that you make up in order for you to feel like you're saying things that are valid. It's a joke. Now, there's always going to be people like this everywhere, especially the bigger that you get, the more frequent it's going to happen. It's like, it's just part of how it works. You gotta just swallow it. Just disregard it, who cares? Oh, sure, I give you weird vibes, cool. Have better priorities in life, don't just make up stuff and then judge the things that you make up based on how those things evoke a certain feeling from you. Screw those people, they don't matter.
I needed more. I needed to hear some real reasons why people disliked this guy. I needed real arguments. I needed a living soy jack meme with a pedo mustache and bisexual lighting to string up and beat like a piñata. Enter In Praise of Shadows, aka Zane, a leftist video essayist straight out of the aging millennial hipster factory. Seriously, why do they all look like this? What genre of man is this? The mustache, the hair, the clothing, post-ironic neo-redneck? You know how some people talk about how women's taste in men gets all weird and f***ed up when they're on birth control? These are the men. I'm gonna call them birth control hot. I'm in no position to talk about style. I still do my makeup like it's 2009. Zane is a horror movie video essayist who for some reason decided to randomly go after Wendigoon and several other popular YouTubers and myself. His video starts off with him complaining that he got a lot of hate for his take about the movie Hills Have Eyes.
The hill people can be representative of anything that you want them to be, really. They can be Native Americans, and the hills themselves can be allegorical of them being forced back onto reservations.
You saw—
I hate that shit when people do that with movies, man. Come on. With that purview, anything is everything else while being everything else other than that thing all at the same time. Everything everywhere all at once. Stop it. Enjoy the movie for its merits. Is the writing well thought out? Is the pacing of the film good? Is it like have style? Is it shot with intention? Is it just intelligently made by people who are good at what they do? That's the thing. What's with this goddamn political crap, dude? You can do that with everything. If you look for these types of things, you're going to find it. And what's going to motivate what you find is based on the things that you think and feel. So why not just have better priorities? It seems to boil down a lot to that in these videos, huh? All right.
You saw a bunch of cannibal mutants and thought of Native Americans? Anyway, he goes on to talk about how people were misrepresenting him and leaving rude comments.
The cruel and untrue things that you say about another person do in fact have direct impacts on them and the way that people culturally see them. Are these your own genuine original thoughts?
They can. And yes, it is impossible for words to not have some degree of an effect in you, but you can still control for that. You could be like, all right, is this going to get to me? I need to build thicker skin. I need to grow another disgusting like shell around my current mortal coil.
I don't like the way my skin feels on my body. Do you like the way your skin feels on your body? You don't? Why don't you pull it off? Pull off your skin.
It's like, dude, this shit's always going to be around, everywhere. Goes one way, goes another way, goes everywhere, at all directions, at all times and places in the world. You have to just deal with it. Find ways to deal with it. Find ways to cope. It's inevitable. Dude, I made a video responding to those things, talking about their arguments. I felt like I could turn it into more watch time. I feel like that's a good, healthy way to... Some people didn't see it. It was like, maybe you don't want to regard them. And it's like, no. Maybe there might be an insight here or there to a negative comment here. Most of the time, it's just mindless garbage. And those people just don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's just their emotions, right? The vibe crap. But it's like, I don't know. That's one way to cope, I guess. Make a video about it, responding to the comments and talk about and bring up their arguments, if, you know, the few negative comments that actually do make arguments, as talking points in the video. More content. Find ways to benefit it, to exploit it for your gain. I mean, that's just one way of doing it. Yes, and it is ironic, given that the stuff, I guess we'll get into that information later on, because this guy, I guess, made a hit piece roasting some people, roasting the boon, the Wendi-gooner, and other people, yeah. All right, I'm actually kind of interested in this. Is it because I have some type of prior investment, because I know these people, and I like seeing them fucking clinch elbow downward, fucking throw a knee real quick.
Genuine original thoughts and criticisms that you have based on my actual words and things that I have done, or that maybe you haven't thought critically about what you were reading online, about other people.
And about how after this video, apparently a lot of his subscribers stopped watching him, and now he's poor and can't afford rent.
There was a month last year where I only made $500 in ad revenue. I can't live off that.
Which, if you're ever at this point...
Get out of here, boy. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, number one, the big thing for me about that, $500, oh yeah, you can live off that. How about don't live in the States? $500, that would be like, if you chose and you were good at choosing places to live and changing your environment to go to places where you're like gonna get the most out of it, that's like 2 months rent right there. Dude, Thailand, Philippines, Asia, hell yeah, I'm going to Thailand, absolutely. And I'll be able to, with $500 a month, oh my God. On top of other ways of monetization, which I'll get into that, it's gonna be the second part of what I'm gonna say, but like, you can absolutely live off that shit. Not in the States, probably, in most places, for the most part, absolutely not. But like, find ways to combat that. You make YouTube videos, you can do that anywhere in the world. Dude, 500 clams, dude, I would be rolling in that shit. All right, losing me on a second point. There are other ways to monetize. You are in a position where you at least have a recurring audience base, in which if you were to find more ways to like get more content out, to monetize your content further, you have to turn it into a business if you want to make it a viable business. It's just the way that it works, right? It's just the way that content and attention accumulation and monetizing said attention accumulation, it's just how it works. So, quit whining. You're in a good position, dude. Once I'm making that much money off my YouTube channel, oh my God, I'll be living it up. Absolutely. Oh my God, that's $500. That's not bad, dude. Especially to make that online, not bad. Yeah, if you want to get more, do more shit. Just make more content. Revamp your content in a certain way to get more of it out, to make it longer, to make it more interesting, make more channels. Branch out into other entrepreneurial efforts. Extend yourself. There are a bunch of different opportunities out there, and yes, it is dumb. It's annoying. I've tried a bunch. I've tried a bunch of stuff. Tried drop shipping, drop servicing, retail arbitrage, pushing affiliate market links through like AI generated blogs. I've tried YouTube automation, which I'm going to eventually jump back into that when I have the means. But I keep trying different stuff to find something that works, and it seems YouTube's going to be, which thank you so much for watching, but it seems YouTube will actually be the thing that turns out to be the most lucrative out of everything I've tried, and the thing that I enjoy the most at all those various ventures. You just gotta find a way, dude. And you're already in a position, like you said, okay, the way you framed it, one of the months last year I made $500. Are you implying that you make more on every other month? That's still pretty good. Dude, move to the Philippines or something, move to Thailand. Make the same type of content. Oh, I gotta stay in the States with my friends and family. All right, cool. Then subject yourself to the rules of how this time and place. It's just the way that it is. I'm sorry, it sucks, yes, but I don't feel too bad for you, because that's not bad. 500, once I'm making that much money, oh man, dude. The amount of fun I'd be having. You don't even need that much. Oh man. All right, yeah, that's interesting little ditty.
If you're ever at this point, you need to get a job, or at least a side job. That's capitalism meritocracy. Either make better content or get a job. Hey, maybe if we get—
No, there's more to it than that. There's a billion different things. Getting jobs is one thing, which will take away from your bottom line of making YouTube videos. Find other ways to monetize. Find other ways to make money online. There's so many different things. You're gonna have to do a lot of research. It sucks. It's just the way things are. But you're gonna have to do a lot of research, figure out a way how to make money online, and you're already in a position where you have some audience, some degree of an audience that's willing to watch your shit, man. Find better ways to monetize. You'd be surprised at how much money you can make even with smaller amounts of audience members, unless you're relying solely on the ad revenue. There's other ways of monetization. Push affiliate links, you could run your own website, run a service, you can make more content, you can sell merch, which that's one of the many things. You do memberships, very things Shoe on Their Head did in this beginning of the video, the Patreon stuff. That's one of the forms of monetization. They also have the ad revenue stuff, which they're making really good money off. This video has nearly 1 million views. It's only been like 2 days. Dude, you could buy a boot for your head with that money. It's crazy. But yes, no, that argument doesn't work there, sir. I always gotta check to make sure this is on. I get all worried.
Maybe if we get communism, you can be the community YouTuber. No, I'm just kidding. Your ass is going to the mines! Then finally, an hour into the video, he gets to the topic, conservative horror movies. But then suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, it was like he accidentally uploaded a schizophrenic meltdown.
If you're not aware, Wendigoon is a horror conspiracy theorist YouTuber with several million subscribers that, as you will hopefully come to see, should not be seen as the wholesome, southern-friendly dad persona that he has publicly constructed around himself in the past several years. And that, like many people who talk about being Christians as much as he does.
How do you construct something like that? What does that look like? A southern, wholesome father? That seems more like a reaction to the stuff that he's put out and just who he is as a person. People think I'm an unhinged, homeless, mad scientist. Did I intend to do that? What? I look like The Weeknd's deprived cousin, second cousin or something like that. Did I do that on purpose? No, it's just how I come off. And people are gonna do whatever the hell they want with it just cause. It's just the way things are, buddy.
Christians as much as he does, has a dark past with deep ties to far-right extremism.
Ooh, this sounds pretty bad. He's not the heckin' wholesome YouTube dad we all thought. What could he have possibly done?
There are many things that are red flags that we could talk about, from the bizarre gun ownership.
Yikes! An American man owns guns? Not very heckin' wholesome, Wendigoon. He goes on to talk about how Wendigoon is rich, and therefore he doesn't respect Wendigoon's opinion on media.
He became exceptionally wealthy by the time that he was 19 or 20. I have no need or desire to hear 5 hours of opinions on Blood Meridian from a 21-year-old millionaire.
Like, what exactly is the correct amount of money to have where your opinions still matter? Like, if you suddenly got a bunch of video views and a bunch of patrons like you want, would we be justified in dismissing your opinions on movies? This honestly—
Funny enough, it's usually the opposite of that. in terms of the general decree. Normally people think your opinion's more valid the more money and status you acquire, because that somehow validates what you're saying. It's not, either way is wrong. Doesn't matter how much money you have, that doesn't make your opinion incorrect. Doesn't matter how little money you have, that doesn't make your opinion incorrect or any more or less valid. Usually it's the other way. People presume to think that the higher vanity metrics denote like, oh, you know what you're doing, otherwise why else would you have all these followers and fans? Why do you have all these people agreeing with you? Right? People look at shitfuck Marvel movies. Oh my god, they're the most popular, successful movies. If they weren't really good, why else would they be popular? It's like, god damn it, people want to boil it down to this thing you can point at and be like, that's why. It's not how, no. It's not how it works. It's not that simple. See why you want to do it that way, but that's not how it works. Okay? But yes, I do see what you're saying. And it is a very interesting take because honestly, I don't think I've ever seen anyone else say that type of stuff. It's usually the other way around. Your opinion's more valid the more money and influence you have. This guy's doing it the other way around. The more money and influence you have, the less valid your opinion is. I'm not offended by that because it's not as prevalent, but also it's just like, all right, that's such a weird little thing. It seems more reactionary out of anything else, to be honest.
This honestly just feels like a conservative's idea of what a leftist is. Like, it's not just about hating people for having money. Like, what is Wendigoon's position of power in relation to the means of production? Does he own a business? Does he have employees he's mistreating? Not that I know of, he's just a guy who makes YouTube videos. Like you. Only difference is, he's good at it and makes money, and you're not, and you don't. Okay, for real though, there's gotta be more, right? What crimes has Wendigoon committed? Well, to start, he committed the crime of having friends.
Wendigoon is very publicly friends with Turkey Tom. They have been seen together on multiple occasions, and I've seen online mentions that Tom was either at his wedding or at the very least was invited.
They have been seen together. I have seen online mentions that he was at his wedding. He's saying this shit like Turkey Tom is wanted for murder, and not like he just said some slurs on Discord when he was a teenager. Does this guy vet like every single person he's ever been friends with or spoken to? Hey, before you enter my house, I'm gonna have to go through your Discord history from 7 years ago. I was gonna say no, but I can see this guy doing that.
Wendigoon is publicly friends with Donut Operator, and even retweeted a photograph of the two of them hugging. Donut Operator is a gun-crazed, very far-right YouTuber with 4 million subscribers. His content is very pro-state, pro-cop, pro-gun, and pro-death to people who don't share his beliefs propaganda. For example, one of his videos is titled, Predator Takes Shotgun to the Face.
I love the example he used is a literal pedophile being killed. He's very pro-death for people who don't share his beliefs. Take, for example, this pedophile. Is that what you mean by people who don't share his beliefs? Out of all the videos, why that one? You're not gonna find many people who are gonna be like, oh no, the poor child molester. Well, maybe you will, but most people won't. Also, he's trying to act like Donut Operator is just a complete simp for the police, and he's really not. Even in the screenshot you show in the background, there's like 3 whole videos in frame where he's clearly being critical of the police.
For someone who supposedly is...
Yeah. And I do like the fact that you brought that individual point up, that specific point, because it's like if you're trying to get your point across that he's a gun-toting, crazy psycho cop, which I kind of agree. He does, for the most part, romanticize the idea of police killings. Now, Americans come at it from a different perspective, right? Police killing civilians is normal in a place like this because guns are everywhere and the public is kind of just crazy psycho and they all have guns, and cops are crazy psychos with guns who also have, civil impunity. So of course you're going to get gunfights, you're going to get gun battles, and it's become so prevalent and normalized in American society that it just happens all the time. People are just like, oh, now we can judge the quality of policing based on the least amount of casualties. Yet when you go to the UK or Finland or Sweden, actually virtually every other first world developed country, you're going to find police going toe-to-toe with guys with like machetes and knives and being able to walk away with very minimal amounts of casualties. There's like no police shootings. There's not to say that brutality isn't there, but it's considerably more prevalent in America. And yes, I don't like Donut Operator. I think he's doing this all the time to his cultural values that he's been indoctrinated to, and I hate the gun shit and the cop shit. But that's not Wendigoon's fault. He's just the guy he hangs out with. Who cares? That's not a reflection of his values. Like, would you surround yourself with people who specifically believe in the stuff that you believe in? I like interacting with people who I can have fun with, who I can have cool conversations with. Those aren't all the same people at the same time, but like, you can interact with anyone for any reason. It's not a reflection of who you are on the inside just because you have an association with somebody else who does something here or there. It's like, this doesn't work in your argument against Wendigoon. That is a dumb argument. But he's grasping at straws. I guess that's kind of what he's been doing this entire time. And also, I think Donut Operator kind of sprinkles in those somewhat critical videos of police officers when, you know, it's like, all right, I got too many police officers gunning people down. Maybe I should put a little bit in as to show some cops doing stupid shit instead of trying to frame police shootings as a good thing. Even if it's the people that they're killing is really bad, it's not a good precedent to set that death should be so excessively given out that kind of lowers the quality of life, the value of human life, or the way that it should be treated. I know, I'm disgusting, right? This isn't me defending a pedophile getting shot in the face. It's just like, I'd rather, instead of him getting shotgun blast in the face in the middle of a gunfight, I'd rather, I don't know, this person having never committed those crimes, and if they did, they get sent to a place where they can deal with those things and become a better person, and then be able to contribute to society, or become a functioning member of society, right? Instead of just, you know, battered down, beat down. It's like, I'm not the type of person who's violently vindictive in that regard. I think, like, I try to look at it through a lens of, okay, what can we do to make things better from here on out? Instead of just trying to seek blind justice through like brutality. It's like, it's not just because of that, but it's also what it does as a result. It sets a bad precedent, and it reinforces a bunch of ideas and a culture and time and place that causes more suffering. The collateral as a result of that being the standard. So, but yeah, sorry, that's a bit of a tangent, bit of a walk away from what we're talking about. But yes, I do like your specific point on that, Chew. That is valid.
One who supposedly is so very anti-government. Wendigoon seems very comfortable with a man who makes his living worshipping violence committed by the state. And the only thing that one could reasonably gather from this picture of them hugging is that he too is a fascist bootlicker himself.
Actually, we can't reasonably gather anything, because you haven't given us anything to gather. You label this guy very far right, and he might be very far right, but you haven't shown anything very far right. Like, take a step back and evaluate the bare basics of what you just showed us.
You haven't showed us anything Wendigoon himself has done or said. If he were to make a tweet that's super far right backwards as to what the guy's saying, then you could talk about it, you could bring it up, use it as evidence. This is something he said, these are the things that he's doing. These are all just things that he's interpreting as a result of his association with some people here and there. It's like, that doesn't work, sorry. You're trying to cast as wide of a net as possible to drag people in. It's like, no. Invalid, sorry.
What you just showed us. Wendigoon hugging someone who thinks it's okay when a pedophile dies. Okay, but let's be fair. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's something worse. Let's see.
He is friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening rape.
Okay, so first of all, let's rewind. This guy is not a gun tuber. This just proved this man did absolutely no research. I'm talking like 2 seconds going to this guy's channel amount of research. And for those who are unaware, that rape thing is a complete lie. It is a complete lie made up by, sit down, Sneeko. Sneeko made that up, and Sneeko had to apologize and admit it was a lie because it was literal slander. I just love how in his little breadtube tryout video, he uses Sneeko as a fucking source. I mean, it's not like his other sources are any better. His other sources being Reddit. He got like 90% of this information from a thread about Wendigoon in a drama subreddit called R YouTube Drama. This man like...
Yeah, that's a general thumb, just don't use sources like that to determine what your opinion is. But just my opinion on it, just don't use Reddit. It's cool for like looking at content or coming across cool things, but like the people on that fucking shit, man, insane, crazy, wacko doodles. Ugh. There's a lot of really stupid shit on Reddit. So just stay away. Stay away from the opinion stuff. Just look at the memes. Keep the memes in close, but push away the opinions.
This man, like, borderline plagiarized Reddit comments. Source, pee-pee-poo-poo-123 and Sneeko. Nice job on the research, you fucking hack. Also, I love the screenshot he's using. This you, bro? This you showing sympathy to someone whose grandfather is dying?
He has collaborated with Nick Crowley, who constantly makes money through the most morbid and shameful true crime content, of showcasing the last minutes of people before they are suddenly and unexpectedly killed.
So I don't know much about this guy, but it seems like your issue with him is that he makes true crime content. I mean, personally, I'm not a huge fan of true crime content, but it's extremely popular on YouTube.
Crowley is similar to Wendigoon, in that on the surface they seem fairly edgy, but clean enough. But then you notice that he follows less than 200 people on Twitter, and among them are the same circle with names like Wendigoon, Plagued Moth, Turkey Tom, Mr. Ballin, and Donut Operator.
On the surface, they look clean enough to pass the vibe check, but then you look closer and notice he follows people who don't pass the vibe check.
These people hate the police, and yet they're always like, sir, I'm gonna have to take a look at that Twitter follow list. Just absolute cop behavior. ACAB includes the follow police.
Wendigoon is publicly friends with Brandon Herrera, who has made jokes that implied that he was sympathetic with public shooters who killed leftists. I've also seen people insinuate that Herrera was with Wendigoon in the days of being part of the Boogaloo movement, but I cannot find substantial proof on if this is true or not. But I've seen several comments saying this, so online it is at least culturally believed to be true.
Hey guys, I heard Praise of Shadows a dog. No, I don't have any proof, but it's culturally believed to be true.
He is friends with Oompaville, a gun-obsessed content creator.
Oompaville! What the hell did Oompaville do? He's not even political whatsoever. I guess that's the problem, isn't it? But no, you're a bad person if you shot a gun even once. This is America. That's like saying you're a bad person if you ate a cheeseburger. His other example of Oompaville being bad is making videos about Nikocado avocado, as if anyone and their mother has not made a Nikocado avocado video. This is ridiculous. There has to be more.
He is friends with Mutahar.
Mutahar? Mutahar? Really? If someone can't be friends with Mutahar, they can't be friends with anyone. That dude is like so not problematic.
And has recently showcased a great deal of transphobia in his most recent video.
Okay, nothing in Mutahar.
I mean, I don't know too much about Mutahar. I'm always hearing that. He's always getting into arguments with people online over what this or that or whatever it is. I mean, yeah. There's a lot of stuff he's saying is really just not very... It's a lot of interpretation, a lot of wanting to come to a conclusion based on, I guess, the way that certain things make him feel. Yeah. Let's just keep going. See if we can come to another talking point.
Nothing in Mutahar's video was transphobic at all. I don't even know why I have to entertain this. Simply talking about a trans person isn't transphobia, and I wish that we could like move past this and just treat trans people like human beings and not like these like delicate little angels that we need to like step on eggshells around. It's really weird.
Who argued against Andrew Tate being deplatformed from social media websites.
He believes in the concept of free speech for everyone. Wow. Just like the Nazis. This is what you're using to paint Mutahar as a bad person in order to paint Wendigoon as a bad person. You're running out of paint, bro.
Wendigoon is publicly...
He's aiming for collateral. He's aiming for a quintuple kill with one bullet. It's like, everyone line up. You ever seen the house that Jack built?
Now, as a tribute to that ingenuity, I am going to conduct a small experiment of my own.
Yeah, it's the meat locker scene where he sets up the sniper rifle, right? So to see, what happens if see how many heads can this one bullet hit through?
Is publicly connected to the Internet Historian, and has even appeared in his videos. The Internet Historian publicly said that his birthday was April 20th. It is not, and has only said that as a joke because that is Hitler's birthday.
Ah yes, April 20th, Hitler's birthday. There are no other jokes surrounding the number 420. It's a weed joke. It's like making a joke about the number 69. This is either extremely dishonest manipulation, saying April 20th instead of the number 420 so people wouldn't notice, or you are profoundly mentally retarded, sir. Who the sees a joke about 420 and automatically thinks Hitler? I'll tell you who. Somebody with preconceived notions about others. Everyone is already a bigot, so everything they say is bigoted, instead of the other way around. Looking at bigotry and coming to the conclusion that that person's a bigot. No, you have this insane hater tunnel vision, which is why you're coming to insane conclusions like this.
We could talk about the time that Nick Spheres did a video about the disturbing movie Iceberg, who is a great horror trans creator, and in the comments of her video, He said, "We will be watching your career with great interest," which is just kinda gross.
That is a line from Star Wars. You really saw him being friendly with a trans person, the trans person being friendly back, and came to the conclusion that this was transphobia? For f***'s sake, man, she ooh-wooed at him. Have you ever sat back and thought, hey, maybe if I have to squint my eyes and tilt my head and glue my balls to my butthole in order to paint these people as Nazis, maybe they're not Nazis?
He has interacted positively with Garant Thumb, who has said, "The traditional family should be encouraged and strengthened. I see little to no support from the government or big media."
Traditional families? Not traditional families! This is how you know this video was made for one type of person and that type of person only. Because what the are we supposed to be mad at that?
For someone who is supposedly anti-government, he sure does seem to have a lot of wealthy white friends who actively work to uphold the values of the American empire.
For someone who hates the government so much, they sure have a lot of wealthy white friends who hold up the American empire. What the f*** are you saying? It's like lefty Mad Libs. He's just chucking a bunch of buzzwords at the wall and seeing what sticks. Capitalism, cops, white, American empire. Again, he sounds like a conservative's idea of what a lefty would sound like. He sounds like a Daily Wire sketch character. He goes on to talk about more Twitter accounts Wendigoon follows and how some of those accounts have liked problematic tweets. Now, see, I always thought fascism was hyper-nationalistic authoritarianism, but apparently it's actually when you follow people on Twitter that Walmart Noah Samson doesn't like.
He has publicly interacted in a friendly way with the account Rock Solid on multiple occasions.
Responding to someone on Twitter makes you best friends with that person. Hey, by the way, this you being friendly with YouTuber Sophie from Mars, who is allegedly an abuser, is that you, bro? Because according to your own logic, not mine, that makes you and her friends, which makes you a bad person. And personally,
Yep, right on the head of the nail, right there. Yeah, it's a lot of... Twitter's so goddamn weird, too. And to treat it like it's your, like, gospel for you to come to a conclusion on all these different things, it's just interesting. Now, I've done this a lot in my videos. It's like, I always try to, like, boil down what the intention was for this. I mean, if he took down the video, then clearly it wasn't just for the attention, because that's some good ad revenue right there. If people are constantly playing like that, you needed money, right? Said 500 wasn't enough, which was the low end on one of your months, which is still very good. But it's like, I don't want to do the same shit too, where I'm interpreting, right? What's the intention? Did he legitimately believe this stuff and he wanted to just say it? I don't know. Huh. Yeah, he's using a lot of very wobbly foundations to his means of logic and reasoning. Yeah, I couldn't say what his intention there is, especially if he took down the video. That makes me think, it's like, if you were doing it just for attention, why not just keep the video up? Keep the Wendigoon bit in so that people could replay it so you can get more ad revenue. Huh. Was he just not able to handle the criticism? And that's what motivated him taking it down? Did he actually think he was wrong? He could make an apology video, which maybe he did. I don't know. I only know so much about the scenario, but... Alright. Yeah.
And personally, I'd rather be friends with people who make jokes on the internet than someone who allegedly put cigarettes out on their girlfriend's skin. But honestly, I wouldn't hold this against him. How was he supposed to know? You throw a dart into a crowd of these people and you're bound to hit a sex pest.
He is publicly friends with Shoeonhead, who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist, who has built a career off of lazy anti-woke content, complaining about SJWs, who says stuff like, Karl Marx rising from the grave finding out his movement has been taken over by fat, ugly, mentally ill losers.
I mean... What's crazy is I could have given you like 20 examples of way worse shit I've said over the years, but instead you choose a random joke I made on Twitter. You just went to my Twitter and found like one of the last tweets I made. This you, Wendigoon? This you, bro? Congratulating someone on their wedding day? A conservative masquerading as a leftist is so—
I'd be flattered if somebody made a whole hit piece about me in their video kind of like that. It's like, go ahead, try to find some stuff. Because you will find shit on everyone. That's how it works. The internet's like an endless ocean. You will stumble across something bad here or there. But it's like, I don't know. You're on this person's mind. They're giving you attention. Sure. I'll capitalize on that. Bring me the views. I guess he's just aiming at everyone. I mean, all these people who's tagged, right, in his video, all these people that he's talking about, they're responding to him. It's reinforcing it, right? It's good for everyone in this context. Let's just say even the person who's attacking them, if he were to find a way to capitalize on it in a more effective fashion instead of taking the fucking video down, probably still be getting views, probably still getting dislikes, but It's all engagement. YouTube, in context to what YouTube finds important, they don't fucking care. As long as you're using their platform. As long as you're watching videos, as long as they're running ads to you, that's the only thing they care. They don't care positive, negative engagement. The only thing that would be bad is neutral engagement, where people aren't commenting, people aren't liking, people aren't watching, because that doesn't meet YouTube's quota of getting people to use their platform so they can make more money off their viewership.
As a leftist is so funny too, because like, what would be the point of that? Am I waiting for like a Soros check? It would be way more lucrative as a woman on the internet to just be a conservative commentator instead of pissing off all sides like I do. Also, the term publicly friends with is so funny. He keeps saying it, and like personally, it's hilarious to me because I have to be privately friends with several public figures because they are prisoners to their own audience, because their own audiences are full of people like this guy. So I have a lot of respect for people like Wendigoon who will just talk to anyone they want to and aren't scared of these cry bullies. Also, I think it's important to say Wendigoon...
Prisoners to their audience? I mean, clearly I guess we're gonna just use what we have. Shoeonhead's willing to say stuff that quote-unquote pisses off everyone, yet they still have people who are willing to watch. I mean, there's always negativity, like on all of our videos, but it's like, screw it, be public with that stuff. Let it out in the open. You're just waiting for the day in which somebody stumbles across it, these people who you're trying to hide away from, who will try to use that against you. Fucking wear it like armor, dude. Interesting that you have friends that are afraid to disclose the people that they're friends with. Very interesting. That could be a good exercise in just how you respond to people's criticisms, and because people are always going to make shit up. They're always going to have something to say about you. Whatever you do and don't do, people are not going to like it. Everything's wrong to everyone. It's entirely arbitrary. You just gotta accept. It's interesting. It's a interesting whole scenario here. Entering sequence of events. This is just people tearing each other apart. It's a lot of fun to watch. So I guess I'll try to capitalize on it. Thank you for watching, if you made it this far.
I think it's important to say Wendigoon and I talk on Twitter sometimes, but we're not like best friends. I've never even met him in real life. But because he has the audacity to tweet at me, now all my opinions are his. And as for the lazy accusation, you got me. Honestly, this all would have bothered me way more like a few years ago, but I'm so over it now. Go ahead and call me what you like. I take solace in the fact that every woke idiot that comes at me eventually gets their own ass cancelled into the shadow realm, and yet I remain problematic and a moron forever. And I personally can't wait until the inevitable day an army of skeletons comes marching out of your closet. What does bother me, however, is linking Wendigoon to me in order to smear him. My friends and I aren't a hive mind, and that might be easy for most people to understand, but not for these people. People like this guy, they don't have friends. They have enemies and they have temporary allies. They have people they hate and people they will eventually throw under the bus the second that person has a problematic tweet one day.
He has said many times publicly that he lives in East Tennessee. It is about as white as you could possibly get. Deep Appalachia is very white country, and for the most part, is exceptionally racist. Genuinely in this part of the country, you have to assume that any white person you meet is racist unless they show you otherwise.
Holy shit! All white people from Appalachia.
Wow. Okay, that probably comes from a retaliatory nature to American culture. The way that he's reacting like that. Just because you're white, you're probably racist. That's how fucking ingrained race is in this fucking country. One of the main reasons I want to get out. If I'm talking about from my personal experience, yeah, I've experienced plenty of that shit, right? People are afraid to walk down the street past me on a dark night. I've had people call the police on me in my own neighborhood. I've been profiled. I've had walking up somebody, like this girl on the street, and she like clutches her handbag. She thinks I'm gonna rob her. It's like, yeah, there's racism. And yes, that's an intrinsic, ingrained aspect to American culture. And yes, that's one of the many things that makes this place garbage, but it's like, not everyone. You can apply that everywhere. Generalizations, even if they are accurate, don't always reflect the specific nuance to every individual thing everywhere. I do believe some general blankets that you can apply are enough for you to gain some valid enough perspective towards when it comes in regards to tackling whatever it is that you're trying to address, like being able to approach how you treat things, right? Like my retaliation to the culture is I just want to get the fuck out, leave, find a better place, find a better culture, live in a better country. That's my reaction. I don't believe everyone's racist. Everyone's prejudiced in one way or the other based on whatever the fuck demographics you can file somebody into. The time and place they're born, how much money they have, their fucking height, their eye color, their hair color, the length of their everything. People just make up stuff on everything. That's a funny little... Always assume that every white guy is... Oh man, dude, not everyone's... That's clearly an American thing. This guy's probably just repulsed by American culture, and this is how it's manifested. But it's like... It's not the same everywhere, dude. That's just, yeah. That's super woke right there. It's funny though. I think it's fucking hilarious. It's all just tribalistic nonsense. So get your popcorn. Learn to accept.
People from Appalachia are racist until proven otherwise. He's implying Wendigoon is low-key racist because of where he's from. He literally has no proof otherwise. No videos, no screen caps, nothing that shows Wendigoon being racist. But you see, he has to be. So because he's from Tennessee, he secretly must be. Making a broad negative generalization about somebody based on their race, but wokely, so it's okay. Appalachia is one of the poorest areas in the country. And aren't you a poor motherfucker too? I know you don't want to hear it, but the working class revolution is not just going to be full of the purple-haired Starbucks baristas. It's also going to be Billy Bob the truck driver from Tennessee. And you have more in common with those guys than you do the rich bread tubers that you're trying to suck the farts out of currently. So why don't you drop the smug liberal attitude and show some class solidarity, comrade?
Then, of course, there is his username. To the Algonquin people, the Wendigo is a negative spiritual symbol. He has attempted to deflect from criticism over the use of the name by saying that his grandfather was Native American. But I personally have to look at it from the hypothetical perspective, where, say I had a black or mixed grandfather in this situation, and black people were telling me that I was doing something that was racist or offensive to them. I would then listen to what they were saying instead of claiming that I had the right to do it because I had some melanin in me. Especially if I were more or less raised within a primarily white cultural area like the Appalachian Mountains are. And also on top of that, just, frequently associated myself with white supremacists.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Where was the white supremacy? You spent like 10 minutes smearing a bunch of people Wendigoon talks to, but not once did you show any white supremacy. Again, just haphazardly throwing around lefty buzzwords. White supremacy!
We could talk about his past and supposedly being a founding member in an online conspiracy theory group that, according to him, snowballed out of control into being a white supremacist neo-Nazi organization called the Boogaloo Boys. In 2020, they killed several police officers in a drive-by shooting in Oakland, hoping that black people would be blamed for the violence, in an attempt to create racial tension.
So basically, Wendigoon was part of a libertarian group that eventually became more extreme and radical over time, and he no longer agreed with the goals, so he left it and he disavowed it. Okay, isn't that what you want? For him to own up to his mistakes and take accountability? You'd have a point if he was still involved in this group, or even if he was part of the group while the group was doing all these terrible things, but he wasn't. It's so funny he had to add this completely made-up factoid that the Boogaloos killed cops in order to blame it on black people, but I couldn't find that literally anywhere. In fact, I found the exact opposite. The Boogaloo Boys made sure people knew it was done by them. And it wasn't to spark a race war, it was to spark more anti-government sentiment. The Boogaloo Boys are a radical libertarian group. They hate cops. So I think this guy made up this thing about them wanting to blame black people.
Even super far right-wing people hate the police. What the hell? Everyone just hates American police? And yeah, I guess you can't really be surprised given all the shootings. Oh my God. We're going to talk about that? Why is every single group out there? Those are technically racist white guys, right? With a bunch of violent gun-toting chuds, and even they choose to kill a bunch of police officers. Oh my God. What the hell's going on in this place, man? Just get out. That's my advice. Leave. I don't want to be part of any of that shit. Oh my God. All the mindless mayhem and violence and hostility. Jesus. I want to be part of these conversations, dude. Just people pointing fingers and trying to shit on each other. God. I hate the toxicity of this place, man. I feel it seeping into my heart, tainting it, turning it purple. Purple and blue. I was thinking because like a bruised heart, like veins, yeah.
The Boogaloo Boys are a radical libertarian group. they hate cops. So I think this guy made up this thing about them wanting to blame black people, so people in his audience wouldn't think the Boogaloo Boys were cool. Yeah, they killed cops, but not in the based cool way we want to kill cops. This is probably the most damning evidence they have against Wendigoon, even though he's not involved in this group anymore, but they still it up. Zayn was liking tweets from people, glazing him, telling him what an amazing job he was doing for finally going after Wendigoon, our glorious Reddit white knight, basking in the attention and glory of finally slaying the bad vibes dragon. All while Wendigoon left a nice comment on the guy's video, telling people not to be mean to this guy. Well, that sign won't stop me because I can't read. One comment I found on this guy's video was like, loving the Wendigoon fanboys trying to deny that he's conservative. He'll get away with it, because he's popular though. He'll get away with it. Get away with what? The crime of being popular online while not agreeing with you politically? Is that what this expose is about? Wendigoon exposed, not a communist. Nobody gives a shit.
So what if he's a conservative? Is that a problem? Which the answer to that is yes. But the reason that I care is because this does not belong in horror, or anywhere. I care deeply about horror, and everything that he does has demonstrated so far in his career that he should not be welcomed in our spaces, or even, just in public in general.
What? Okay. First of all, I assure you nobody—
Whoa. Damn. You still haven't pointed to anything he's actually said. No evidence or citations of like hateful backwards speech. Nothing of him saying certain things here or there. Nothing. Just interpretations off of the people that he's associated with. And for the most part, that's kind of his personal stuff, right? Having a random traditional family and teaching Sunday school or some shit. It's like, you got nothing, buddy boy. You got nothing on the goon. You got nothing on the gooner. Which, I don't have any allegiance here. I don't have allegiance to anything except myself. The stuff that I find to be important. But it's like, and I don't even know much about Wendigoon, but it's like, based on the information, these people are saying, you ain't got it. You ain't got the cards into your sleeve. You're just spewing bile.
Sure, nobody wants to be in your space, bro. Imagine the smell. But second of all, in public, Wendigoon should not be allowed in public spaces. Wendigoon should not be allowed to exist in society because he is Twitter friends with people this guy disagrees with on Twitter.
Should not be accepted within society at all. They should not be celebrated. They should be treated for what they are. Because remember, kids, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Well, you've told us you're a lying, manipulative hack, and I believe you. But Wendigoon's actions, words, and even comment he left on your video tell us he's a good person. You're so lost in the sauce, you don't even realize all you did to the average viewer was make this guy seem like a kind person who learns and grows from his mistakes. These flimsy accusations and guilt by associations may work for the NPCs in your audience who already hated Wendigoon based on vibes, but you need to bring more to the table than unsourced Reddit comments. If you're trying to convince the average person who isn't terminally online that this guy deserves to be ostracized from society. The fact is, most people have friends they don't politically agree with. Most people make edgy jokes. Many people are into guns. Many support the police. And most enjoy when pedophiles die. These things you listed as like crimes Wendigoon's friends have done in order to smear Wendigoon do not make them fascists or Nazis. They make them normal people. At the end of the day, this was—
Regardless of any of that, he wasn't the one who did those things. Even if you did have a point with those other things, he didn't. None of this is on his hands. He's just associated with people who've said or done these things. It's like, that's not good enough, man. What's it that this person that you're targeting, Wendigoon, think? What does he think and feel? We don't know because we haven't seen it. Just interpretations off of other stuff that you've put together. Yeah. We're almost at the end, but kind of summed it up here.
This was just a witch hunt against a normal guy. But to these people, that is the enemy. The normal guy. They can dress it up however they want, but at the end of the day, that's what this video was. An attack on normal guys. And it's always been a war on normal guys. But hey, I'm glad you deleted the video. Hopefully you learned from this, but according to your Discord messages, you haven't. Anyway, that was that video. I just really wanted to stick up for someone who absolutely did not deserve all the hate. Thank you again to everyone who donates to me on Patreon. You help so much. And I will see see you all real soon with
He'll be fine. Don't worry. He's got lots of money and success and influence. He'll be fine. It's just more white noise on the outside of his existence. His lifestyle won't change. The stuff that he does each day won't change. He'll be fine. As for the other guy, I mean, it's hard to know what the long-term reverberations of this will be. And it's hard to know whether or not he's actually benefited from this, because, I mean, this did bring a lot of attention to him. I don't know. I don't know what the result of that will be. I think he'll probably be okay, but given how he's reacted in this certain way that hasn't benefited himself, he doesn't really know how the game works. The game of life. The game of making money and surviving within this grunge fuck existence. So, yes, cool. Thank you, shoeonhead. With this video, you can now buy yourself a crock for your head. I was trying to think of what's a shoe that's a Jordan for your head. A collector's Nike.